Hi, I'm Katie Sky, and welcome to my channel and welcome to the island of Scuttle. This, of course, is the build that I did last week, the little lagoon, and this is what we'll be working on today. As you can tell, I have mapped out quite a bit of what we're doing, and if you can't tell from what's on the ground here, I'm doing a skull lake. And it's also probably in the title and why you clicked on this video in the first place. But we're just going to go ahead and get started. All of the blue that's on the ground is going to be the water. And so I'm just going through and, terraforming that out or waterscaping that out. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on all of the little like edges. They're going to be half. So basically anything that has this like wood custom code, that's going to be a half or like a curved edge. And so I'm just going and hitting all of those so that they all make sense for the skull design. And then I'm gonna hop on over to the nose and even that out, or I guess curve the edges so it looks more nose-like. I'm not really sure. I did do this based off of a build I did on my very first island, and that I believe I got from a diagram on Pinterest, like way back in the day. So I don't know who to credit this way of doing things, but I definitely got it from somewhere else. It did not just come from my brain. And now I am going to put a little incline in this top area that's in front of the skull lake. And then I'm going to start putting the houses that are going to go around this. So one is going to be Camofrog, and then the other is in on the cliff, and it's going to be Drift. So I'm putting the little frogs up here, and it's going to be very jungly and very good for frogs, in my opinion. And here you can see the little viewpoint that you're going to be able to look at the little skull lake from. And I'm going to try to adjust this cliff back here because I want to put a tree. And right now it's not wide enough for a tree. I like to put trees behind the houses because I think it makes it look more full. So that's just what I'm going to do. And now I'm just gonna start filling in this back area and work my way forward, because once I decorate this side right here, I'm not gonna be able to get to that back little area. And at this point, we actually don't have too many more builds left. We really just have the back portion of the island, and then we're gonna be done with Scuttle. Which is kind of a crazy thought because it also kind of feels like I just started this island, but here we are, practically done. I mean, as I'm recording this voiceover IRL, I've already actually completed this island. I finished the last couple of builds yesterday, and I think they came out really cute. The only thing I have left for this island really is to do the flag. I have to create the code for the flag, but other than that, like, she's done. Which, like I said, is kind of crazy to think about because it does still very much feel like I just started this island. But, you know, we're pretty much done now. You guys will obviously see the incoming videos to see the last few builds. And I'm editing those up for you guys right now, but you should have all of those videos available to you by, I think, probably the end of September, if I'm remembering properly. So keep an eye out for those. And then, of course, I will have a couple of Moondrop videos, which Moondrop is my slow mode island that is also no commentary. So it's just, like the in game sounds, and that's it. So if that's your vibe to put on like in the background, which is what I love to do, don't forget to check out those videos. And after we finish up this island, we will be starting on our spooky island. So there's that to look forward to as well. And I might do a couple of island tours here and there for the rest of the year. I haven't really decided on that, but I definitely have a lot of fun ideas for the rest of this year for this channel. But if you guys have any ideas for content you would like to see me do, another game perhaps you want to see me try, anything, just leave it in the comments below. I am always open to suggestions. And if you have any ideas for the Halloween island, leave those in the comments as well. I know we just did Pinecone, which was a fall themed island, but this is going to be Halloween, so it is slightly different. And make sure that you keep an eye on my community posts because I'm going to be doing some polls over the next couple of weeks so that you guys can help me decide on certain aspects of the next island as I kind of start planning it and like filming the beginning bits of it. So definitely keep an eye out on the channel for that. I'm definitely pre recording stuff right now because, well, not right now. I'm getting ready to pre record things because I'm going to be gone for the first little bit of October. So I want to make sure you guys still have videos, but I'm going to be going to Chicago for a book conference, which is really fun. Well, not a conference, kind of a conference. It's a signing. So I'm signing at it, but there's also like activities and panels, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm going to be gone for like a week, at least a week. And then I need to recover because I'm going to be doing a lot of peopling and extroverting, and I am an introvert. So that takes a lot of energy out of me, which I'm totally prepared for and I'm excited for cuz the last signing I did was so much fun and this one is a lot bigger, but it is going to take it out of me. So I'm probably going to need like another week just to recover from talking to so many people. Not that I'm not going to have so much fun doing it, just that's just kind of how I work. But I am doing a lot of the prep right now for that signing, as well as the virtual signing that I have coming up in September. So, two back to back signings. It's a lot to do at once. Luckily, the one in September, I don't have to go anywhere. So, that's one less thing to kind of have to stress about. But, I do have to order all of the books, get all the swag, all of that stuff. And I, of course, had known about this for over a year and am still not prepared because I left it kind of to the last minute. I mean, it's not really the last minute, but it's almost down to the 30-day mark for when I'm going to be leaving for the big one in Chicago. So I kind of need to get going on this. And now that I've just completely rambled about my poor planning because I have ADHD time blindness, let me get back to what we're actually here for, which is Animal Crossing. So right now, I'm really just doing a lot of filler area on this second tier, third tier that I have drift up on, and it's just to make it look like a jungle. So it's mostly just the natural things, trees, flowers, bushes, you know the deal. And I know I've been talking about not using every single tile and getting better with that, but it's a jungle, so it needs to be full. And the only way I know to make this look full is to put something on every single tile. I just can't seem to help myself. It's like if it doesn't have something on it, it needs something on it. I think that there is just something in my brain that just does not like it. And I am having to be careful about how much I put up here because I want to make sure nothing is blocking the actual view of the Skull Lake, because that's kind of the whole point of this area, is so that you can be elevated above the lake and see kind of the whole vibe of it, the whole picture, if you will. So any trees that I'm having kind of close to that viewing area, I'm keeping on the smaller side. Like that little coconut tree is stunted for that exact reason. And then anything taller is further out so that it's not going to block the view at all. And while I finish up this little area, I would love to know what you guys are working on. Like, are you working on a summer island still? Are you getting ready for a fall island? I know there's a couple of challenges going on or starting right now. So, are you getting ready to do one of those? I'm very curious what you have going on. So, make sure to let us all know in the comments. And we are going to put this last little bit down and move on to the little walkway area. And so we're just putting some pathing down, and I am gonna make it a little squiggly and put some trees in here just to give it honestly just a little bit more interest instead of just like a straight line of a path because I don't like straight lines apparently. I did recently restart an island and I didn't film it or anything. It's really just for me to vibe on and just kind of do whatever I want. And so, what I was thinking is whenever do start to build, because like I said, I literally just started it. So, I haven't really done much on it, but whenever I start to build, I can share updates with you and kind of show you what I've done, but I don't think that that's going to be an island that I record. It's just going to be for me to have fun and, vibe and not have to worry about anything or anything like that. But I did recently start it. I called it Clover Bay. I'm really excited about it. I have no idea what theme it's going to end up with, or if it's going to even have a theme where I'm just going to kind of do whatever. We'll have to see. But like I said, I did just start it. I think I just got to 3 stars, and that's it. And honestly, with everything that's going on right now, plus starting another island pretty soon for video, I might not be working on that island a ton. It's just going to be kind of when I have time. But I will keep you guys updated for sure on that one. I was honestly just really craving like early gameplay. So I decided to start a new island, honestly, just for funsies. And so that's what I did. I think maybe Scuttle was starting to get to me a little bit because there is so much like intricate decorating that I've been doing. Do I need to be doing so many tiles for decorating? No, but I can't help it. This is just who I am, okay? And we are just going to continue this little path all the way to Skull Lake. And it's just going to be a lot of the same. We have the little plank pathing, we have trees, bushes, barrels, wheat field, flowers, all of that. And now we've made our way to in front of Camofrog's house. And we're just going to continue the same path that way and then kind of decorate around it. So the decorating in this area is going to be very similar to everything else on this island, if you couldn't tell. So it's a lot of natural items, trees, etc. You know, I've said it a billion times on this island. Something else I would love your guys' opinion on is the current editing style that I'm using. So I basically talk through the entire video and just kind of ramble at you guys. And is that something that you still like? Or would you like me to intersperse the talking with some like lo-fi, something just like some music in the background? Let me know what your preference is because I want these videos to be enjoyable for you guys. So if the style that I'm doing isn't really working anymore, then I want to experiment and try something else. Like do you guys want to see more of a let's play style, or where I just talk for the first couple of minutes and kind of explain what I'm doing, and then you just watch the process with some music going on instead. Like, I'm open to whatever suggestions you guys think will work best and that you enjoy the most. And, we can experiment together, especially since a lot of my islands do get kind of redundant after a few videos because I kind of do the same things in each video, it feels like. So maybe hearing more what my process is and like me talking to myself and mumbling through what I should be doing, that might be more interesting. I don't know. I might try it out, but let me know what you think. Another question I have, do you like the length of videos I'm doing right now? I think they're kind of floating in between like 20 and 30 minutes. Or do you prefer them to be longer, like closer to like the 40-minute mark? Or do you want them shorter and be like under 20? Let me know what your preference is, and I can, try whichever one out. And I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I do live in the desert. Not necessarily by choice. This is where I live. Eventually, I won't live in the desert. I'm not a desert person, but generally the desert is dry, right? It's very hot in the summer. We're normally during August, like all in like the 110s. I will say it hasn't been super bad this summer. What has been bad is for some reason we've had a really big spike in humidity. And I live on the West Coast in California in the desert. This is not an area that gets humidity, not like we've been getting. And it has just not been a good time. And I'm sure any of you that live in a place that's normally humid knows that, like, in the hundreds and then putting humidity on top of that, it's very uncomfortable. So that's what I've been dealing with. Today is the first day in at least a month, maybe even 2 months, where I went because I take my dog on a walk every day. And this is the first day that it hasn't been absolutely atrocious out. So that was nice. Like, don't get me wrong, it was still like almost 80 degrees at 7 a.m. this morning, but the air didn't feel like soup. You know what I mean? So we've been dealing with that. My little Bella Bean has been a trooper, especially like over this weekend. We were in an excessive heat warning, and so we didn't go on any walks. I will admit, like, most of August ends up being an excessive heat warning, but it was especially bad this weekend. We were at like almost 60% humidity, and it was like 105 degrees. I will say it's only super humid in the morning. It kind of, the sun burns it off a little bit, but I really only go outside in the morning. I don't go outside during the day if I can help it in the summer because it's just too hot. And I have a little bit of heat intolerance, like not really bad, but enough that I can feel the heat and it just wipes me out. So I tried not to go out in the heat. But, I'm walking my dog every day because, she's a little chunky, more chunky than she needs to be. And I'm definitely more chunky than I need to be. And I've been working with my doctor to try to, fix some habits and make lifestyle changes, for the benefit of my health. And to do that, I've been walking a lot, but when it's disgusting out, I don't want to go outside. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, the point of this little rant about the weather is I don't like living in the desert. I am not a desert person, and I will be so excited whenever I'm able to afford to move north. That's my goal. Unfortunately, that's going to take a couple of years at least to get, but we're working towards it, and that's what matters. But the moral of the story is I'm uncomfortable and it's hot out. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my dog, Bella Bean, she's laying next to me right now and she is snoring. So if you can hear that, sorry. I find it really adorable, but I know that you probably won't find my dog snoring adorable, so hopefully you can't hear that. But she is currently napping from her morning walk. So it's her post morning walk nap. She has probably about 6 more naps that she'll take during the day. But she be snoring. And here I have moved on to the right side of the lake. And to break up this large area, because I didn't want to just do nothing but trees over here, because I thought it was getting very extra, I guess you would call it. So I wanted to do something, and I decided to do this like Stonehenge, I think that's what that is, item, and have that be like kind of a focal point of this side. So I didn't have to put in quite as many trees. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still put in a lot of them, but it makes it full without having to put in like 4 extra trees. And I did just quickly kind of rearrange the trees a little bit because there were too many similar ones clustered together. So I did just do that really quickly, and then I'm gonna fill this area in front. And obviously I don't want to cover up all of the big Stonehenge, so I'm doing some, what is the word? Stunted trees in front, and then just like lower items like the wheat field and the flowers. And that just leaves this back top corner to do. And I did play around with the idea of potentially decorating on the skull lake itself, like the eyes and the nose. I did decide against that for a couple reasons. One, that's what I did on my first island, and I wanted it to be different. And two, I kind of feel like it could take away from the impact of it being a skull lake. So I decided against it. But I think either way it would be really, really cute. That was my phone. I'm so sorry. But we're just going to do this back corner, which is just going to be like a few trees and some giant vines. We're going to ignore the fact that my phone keeps going off. How embarrassing. And we're just going to finish this little bit off. And I did want to keep a little trail, kind of a clear area around the entire Skull Lake, because I want you to be able to walk around it if you want. So there is a way to get around there if you are so inclined, if you ever come visit. And now I just want to put the last couple of things down and then add in some weeds around the area. So I do want you to be able to get through, but I also don't want it to look like there's this weird strip of area that hasn't been decorated. And we are done. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what your favorite part was. And if you did enjoy today's video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, join the family. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.